Hey YouTube, I seriously have to get better about making videos. I think it's been about a year since my last one, so what better time to release another video, right? In the last video I told you I moved down to Houston, Texas, and my plan was to buy multiple houses, do the Airbnb thing full time, and this is going to be where we're at so far. So the Iowa house, now that I've had it for a year and been completely moved out, running it remotely, I've been through multiple cleaners and had all kinds of headaches out there. But after all my expenses paid, done, mortgage, utilities, cleaning, material, all of it's paid off, I made $33,000 profit. Yes, I can live on $33,000 a year. No, that's not a luxurious, wealthy life by any means, right? So, oh man, I think it would have been November, December of 2021 when I made that last YouTube video. In February, I had the job that I told you I got approved for. I got a new loan, got a big 5-bedroom house with a pool and hot tub. Beautiful place. I'll post pictures of it on here if I can figure out my editing software, show you what I got. So I bought that in February, still working the job. As hard as it's like I'm working 8 hours a day doing that, trying to get this home loan. I don't know how many houses, if you've bought a house before, you know what I mean. There's a lot of headaches that go into buying a house. The bank wants this and that, and you need appraisal, and things fall through, and got to push back closing. It was a mess. But we got the house. That's the important part. I got it listed in March, fully furnished. Not gonna lie, beautiful. I got to give myself props. The decorating, like everything, I love how it turned out. Love it. Everybody else does too. So far so good. Got it listed on Airbnb. I put it at $300 a night. I thought that was high. I thought, that's a lot of money for a house. We'll see how it does. Within 1 week, having that house listed for $300 a night average, a little bit higher, a little bit lower, depending on the weekdays or weekends, I did $41,000 in bookings in 1 week. And that's when I was like, this is obviously too low priced. If I'm getting that many bookings and filling up the whole next year, my whole calendar in 1 week, I could probably get a lot more than $300 a night out of this house. So I started bumping my price up, $400 a night. And that's average price, like I said. Bookings slow down a little bit, but they're still coming in, still making $400 a night on a lot of, and then if I get nights that aren't booked, lower that back down to $300, it was getting booked. Still a lot of bookings coming in, so I bumped up $500 a night. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. This house cost me about $100 to own per day, with mortgage, utilities, taxes, insurance, internet, all of it combined. It's about $100 a day. So charging $500 a night, that's $400 profit every single day. It was blowing my mind, like so much money, right? There was 1 month I did 16,000 in bookings in 1 month, June of 2022, on that house. Like crazy. Never thought I'd do $16,000 on any property on Airbnb. That was just so much money. And on top of that, I've still got the Iowa house. It's making money. It's not doing those numbers, but it's not bad. So long story short, lots of headaches in there. Don't get me wrong. It's not easy money. I got parties I got to shut down, people breaking things. Had someone bash an entire window out of the house, broke a couch in half, stuff just getting broken, disappeared, stains in the carpet, makeup stains, you name it. People are renting this house and they're, I'm sure they're thinking, I spent all this money, I'm just gonna party and trash it. Spend all this money so they can fix it. It's been a long year, and neighbors calling the cops, reporting parties and stuff like that. I think I've got that pretty well managed now. I bought noise sensors, I've got cameras out there, I've got a bunch of stuff, and it'll tell me if it gets too loud or too many people, whatever. I can call the guests and be like, quiet it down, you got 10 minutes, if not, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. So I've got a system, and I think it's working pretty well. And then something big happened. In July, the radio station that I owned, I think I had I don't remember, 20,000 shares, 26,000 shares, something like that. A couple $100,000 worth. It bumped way up in price. And I made $100,000 in 1 day on that radio station. Sold the radio station, all of it, pulled that money out, Then I got a big tax bill, set some money aside for taxes, and I took the rest of that money out and I bought another house. This one was 4-bedroom, 2-bath, also pool and hot tub. Very beautiful house, I think. It's not quite the curb appeal of the first one. I'll put a picture of it in this video also, show you what I got for the second house. But the good thing about this one, it came with a completely remodeled, furnished apartment. It's kind of, I don't know, not connected to the house, but connected by an awning to the house. But completely its own unit, its own hot water system, its own air conditioner, its own everything. So basically 2 units. You know, I got the house and then an awning with like a covered patio, and then a whole nother unit. So I paid some contractors to come in and build fences, separate the 2 completely. They both have their own driveway. I ended up right away getting a long-term tenant in there. I put it on as a short-term rental, and a lady offered me what I would make to keep it fully booked on Airbnb. She offered me that much per month to live there, permanent. Can't turn that down, and that was a great deal. So she's in there now. That covers half of my mortgage on that property. The main house itself, it's doing pretty well. Not quite as well as the first house, but I mean, I make damn good money on it. And then on top of all that, on the other side of the house, there's a stall to park an RV or a camper. So I've got a camper, and I can pull it in there, turn it into a 3rd unit. So that one property can have 3 Airbnbs on one property. So just like that, I more than doubled. I had the house in Iowa, the second house, which is in Pearland, Texas. Beautiful place. And then with this one, that one purchase, 3 more Airbnbs on one property. So that was a win. That was another huge hassle trying to get that loan. By far the hardest part, in my opinion, in this business is getting home loans. You have to go through so many loopholes and figure out how to get a bank to give you hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy a house when you don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars. But I've gotten it done a couple times now. So I've got 3 houses and killing it, honestly. I think my average work day now is, might be generous, but maybe 2 hours a day. And I hate that. I hate it. I feel like I'm so lazy. I'm like looking for things to do every day. Like, well, can I go down there and work on the flower bed, or, you know, put some new furniture together, like fix something. I'm always looking for something to do. I can't work 2 hours a day. I need to work at least 8 or 9. Otherwise, I just feel worthless. So it's been interesting, to say the least. But because it's January now, 2022 has ended. During 2022, I went from 1 unit to 5 units on Airbnb. Most of those, you know, the 3 units later came just in August, so towards the end of the year. But I thought I'd just give you a recap on 2022. I was able to bring in, after all my expenses, all my mortgages, utilities, cleaning costs, and cleaning costs are expensive, internet, replacing broken things, toilet paper, paper towels, stained bed sheets, stained towels, all the cleaning products. You know, my cleaners, I provide all the Windex and laundry soap and whatever they need for cleaning. So thousands of dollars worth of cleaning products. After all that was paid and done on Airbnb, I profited $103,000. I've never made it over $100,000 in my life in a single year. And so that was pretty cool. And, you know, on top of that, I'm only working a couple hours a day instead of the 8 to 10 hours a day I was working for my employer. So it's really changed my life. It's changed my perspective on work. It's changed my perspective on what I'm personally capable of. And I really started thinking, like, how many people do I know that are really struggling? Don't quite make enough money, hard to cover for them to cover bills. Maybe they got a car payment they can't quite afford. With one house, they could double their income. The right house, the right location, the right price. But I want to start teaching people how to do this. I really think that anyone can do what I've done, and quite honestly, at least double their income with one house, 30 minutes a day more work. I've got a whole system now. I've made a ton of mistakes. I've learned a ton. And now I think I really understand how to run an Airbnb business very professionally. How to find cleaners, how to prevent parties, how to clean up a party, how to manage expenses, all of that. And I really think that I've got a lot of skill here, where if I were to put a course together and say, here's the steps. Here's exactly what you need to do. Buy the house, set the house up, do this, use these softwares, and you'll make a lot of money. And rather than someone going through all the mistakes that I did and having all the problems that I did, skip by all that just by buying this course and go straight from, in a couple months to having a house on Airbnb, making a bunch of money and solving a bunch of their problems. So if that's something that you'd be interested in, let me know in the comments. I'm probably not going to be getting on the course right away, but if people want to learn, and if that's something that people would like to, with one house in a decent location, I would comfortably say you can make $60,000 a year in profit after all your expenses are paid. On top of that, that's not including debt pay down on the house, and that's not including the price of your house going up. Prices go up by 3 to 5% per year on houses. So your house is always becoming worth more. You're always paying down the debt on it, so you've got more equity in it. On top of all that, it's going to pay you $60,000 a year just to own it. That's a good deal. I feel like that's a good deal for anybody. Now, it's not free. You've got to have money for furniture to get started. You've got to have money to put down the 3 to 5% towards the home loan. But it's doable. And I know a lot of people that could do this. And if they're one of them, and if this is something you want to learn and you'd be interested in a course, let me know in the comments, and I will seriously start working on a course if there's enough demand for it, and just teach people how to do what I've done. I'm completely self-employed now. I make, in this next year should be well in excess of $150,000. That's on the low end in profit, and working minuscule 2 to 3 hours a day. I work probably more than 2 to 3 hours a day because I choose to, I'm always looking for something to do. But you don't need to. And a lot of the work that I do, as far as if there's a plumbing issue, electrical issue, I'll go fix it myself. You could hire a contractor for $150 to go down there and do the same thing. So really you could do this. And I've got an example with that house in Iowa, completely remote. I'm not there. I don't do anything on that house. That house, no pool, smaller town, cold winters. It made me $33,000 in profit last year. That's not bad. I feel like most people with $33,000 in profit, that's maybe not a lift to live on, especially if you got kids. But it's a pretty good amount of money for a house that you don't even have to touch for a year. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Self-employed, 3 houses, 5 units on Airbnb. Trying to figure out how to get more loans right now. I still want to get to that 10 or 12 houses on there. I think with 10 or 12 houses, it's good money. That would be real good money. There's been a lot of headaches. If I create a course, I'm going to teach you how to avoid all the headaches that I have learned how to get past so far. And there's a bunch. I mean, I could go on and on. But yeah, let me know. Let me know in the comments.